Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Detailed History. Today we will be looking at the story of Romulus and Remus, the legend of formation of Rome in detail. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Let us look at the main characters of this legend. Romulus and Remus, the twin brothers and the sons of the god Mars and Rhea Silvia. Mars, the Roman god of war. Lupa, the she-wolf. Tiberius, the god of the river Tiber, Rhea Silvia, the mother of Romulus and Remus, Faustulus, the shepherd who adopted Romulus and Remus. Romulus was the legendary founder and the first king of Rome. Various traditions attribute to the establishment of many of the Rome's oldest legal, political, religious, and social institutions to Romulus and his contemporaries. Although many of these traditions incorporate elements of folklore, and it is not clear to what extent a historical figure underlies the mythical Romulus, the events and institutions ascribed to him were central to the myths surrounding Rome's origins and cultural traditions. As the tale goes, after Remus was killed by Romulus, Romulus ruled for 37 years and is said to have disappeared in a whirlwind during a sudden and violent storm as he was reviewing his troops on Campus Martius. Livy says that Romulus was either murdered by the senators, torn apart out of jealousy, or was raised to heaven by Mars, the god of war. Livy believes the last theory regarding the legendary king's death, as it allows Romans to believe that the gods are on their side, a reason for them to continue expansion under Romulus's name. Remus was the twin brother of Romulus, and as the tale goes, Remus was killed by his brother Romulus himself or by Romulus' supporters, as there was a disagreement between them on which hill Rome was supposed to be established. Mars was one of the chief gods of Rome. As his child, Romulus established Rome and created the empire. He was the son of Jupiter and Juno, and he was one of the most prominent of the military gods in the religion of the Roman army. Most of his festivals were held in March, as the month was named for him, Latin Martius, and in October, which began the season for military campaigning and ended the season for farming. In the Roman foundation myth, it was Lupa that nursed and sheltered the twins Romulus and Remus after they were abandoned in the wild by the orders of the king Aemilius of Alba Longa. She cared for the infants at her den, a cave known as Lupercal, until they were discovered by a shepherd, Faustulus. The image of the she-wolf suckling the twins has been a symbol of Rome since ancient times and is one of the most recognizable icons of ancient mythology. Tiberinus was a figure of Roman mythology. He was the god of the Tiber River. He was added to the 3,000 rivers as the sons of Oceanus and Tethys as the genius of the Tiber. Tiberinus was considered to be one of the most important river gods, and people made sure to put offerings in the Tiber River every May. Tiberinus was honored with 27 straw dummies, which were called argae. Rhea Silvia, also known as Elia, was the mythical mother of the twins Romulus and Remus who founded the city of Rome. Her story is told in the first book of Ab Urbe Condita Libri of Livy and in Cassius Dio's Roman history. The legend of Rhea Silvia recounts how she was raped by Mars while she was a Vestal Virgin, and as a result became the mother of Romulus and Remus as the founders of Rome. In Roman mythology, Faustulus was a shepherd who found the infant Romulus and his twin brother Remus along the banks of the Tiber River as they were being suckled by the she-wolf Lupa. According to the legend, Faustulus carried the babies back to his sheepfold for his wife Acca Larentia to nurse them. Faustulus and Acca Larentia then raised the boys as their own. Romulus later killed King Aemilius of Alba Longa and his brother of Remus before founding the city of Rome, in the place where they, Romulus and Remus, had been raised. According to Roman mythology, Romulus and Remus were the sons of Rhea Silvia and the god Mars, who was the god of war. Their maternal grandfather was Numitor, the rightful king of Alba Longa, through whom the twins were descended from both the Trojan hero Aeneas and Latinus, the king of Latium. Before the twins' birth, Numitor's throne was usurped by his brother Amulius, who murdered Numitor's son or sons and condemned Rhea Silvia to perpetual virginity by consecrating her a vestal. When Rhea became pregnant, she asserted that she had been visited by the god Mars. Amulius imprisoned her and upon the twins' birth ordered that they be thrown into the Tiber. But as the river had been swollen by rain, the servants tasked with disposing of the infants could not reach its banks, and so exposed the twins beneath a fig tree at the foot of the Palatine Hill. In the traditional account, they were saved by Tiberius, the god of the river Tiber, and then later on a she-wolf happened upon the twins and suckled them until they were found by the king's herdman Faustulus and his wife Acalarentia. As soon as they were adopted by Faustulus, they grew up tending to their flock and became shepherds and unaware of their true identities. Over time, they became natural leaders and attracted a company of supporters from the community. When they were young adults, they became involved in a dispute between the supporters of Numitor and Amulius. As a result, Remus was taken prisoner and brought to Alba Longa. Both his grandfather and the king suspected of his true identity. Romulus, meanwhile, had organized an effort to free his brother and set out with help for the city. During this time, they both learned of their past and joined forces with their grandfather to restore him to the throne. Amulius was killed and Numitor was reinstated as king of Alba. The twins then set out to build a city of their own. After arriving back in the area of the Seven Hills, however, they disagreed about the hill upon which to build the city. Romulus preferred the Palatine Hill above the Lupercal. Remus, however, preferred the Aventine Hill. When they could not solve the dispute, they agreed to seek the gods' approval through a contest of augury. Remus first saw 6 auspicious birds, but soon afterward Romulus saw 12 and claimed to have won divine approval. The new dispute furthered the contention between them, and in the aftermath, Remus was killed either by Romulus or by one of his supporters. Romulus then went on to found the city of Rome, its institutions, government, military, and religious traditions. He reigned for many years as its first king. And that brings us to the end of the legend. The origins of the different elements in Rome's foundation myth are a subject of ongoing debate. They may have come from Rome's own Italic origins or from Hellenic influences that were included later. Definitely identifying those original elements has so far eluded classicists. Roman historians dated the founding of Rome around 753 BC, but the earliest known written account of the myth is from late 3rd century BC. There is an ongoing debate of how and when the complete fable came together. Sources often contradict one another. These include the histories of Livy, Plutarch, Dionysius of Halicarnassus, and Tacitus, as well as the work of Virgil and Ovid. Quintus Fabius Pictor's work became authoritative to the early books of Livy's Ab Urbe Condita, Dionysius of Halicarnassus' Roman Antiquities, and Plutarch's Life of Romulus. Among the many books, the following are considered the most important as the fragments of lost sources. Annals by Annius is lost, but fragments remain in later histories. Roman Histories by Pion in Book 1. The City of God Against the Pagans by Saint Augustine. Quintus Fabius Pictor wrote in the 3rd century BC. His history, written in Greek, is the earliest known history of Rome. He is cited by all the 3 canonical works. Current scholarship offers little evidence to support any particular version of the Roman foundation myth, including a historical Romulus and Remus. Starting with Fabius Pictor, the written accounts must have reflected the commonly held history of the city to some degree. The archaeologist Andrea Carandini is often one of the very few modern scholars who accept Romulus and Remus as historical figures and dates an ancient wall on the north slope of the Palatine Hill to the mid-8th century BC and names it Murus Romuli.